ESPN's John Anderson. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
Every Tuesday is now the same. I just want to know what the professor is thinking. I want to know what 7-2.5 is thinking. I don't know the order of his thoughts, but I know he's going to have some. Is it the Packers? Is it the Bucks? Is it? I don't know. I think when you become a professor, maybe you just look at things a little bit differently. I don't know if that's the case, but it just sounds right. This is the John Anderson Homer Hour. We'll have Jason Wilde on in a little bit. But good evening. Welcome. What do you feel needs to be said? That's the best way to put it with you. We don't know if we're going to get sugar. We don't know if we're going to get salt. He's got some of both.
No. I tell you, there was a rough weekend. This has been a busy time, right? I had to move out of my house. I had to close at the house while I was doing get ready for the SEC championships and then the New York City Marathon. And so in the last 4 days, I've been to left Connecticut, went to New York, went to College Station, came back to New York, and now I'm in South Carolina. And all the time I had to watch all my teams that I really like get drilled. With the Packers, who were miserable.
What was the worst part? What was what bothered you the most about the Packer loss?
In addition to the fact that they didn't play well, what bothered me the most is the Lions are a significantly better team. And I'm like, okay, how do they get better by the end of the season, that if they have to meet them in the playoffs or in a significant game, how do they beat them? Because right now they're not better than them.
Well, I can tell you one. They got to play them inside.
So that was the biggest thing. Like, wow, those teams didn't look to me to be close.
Mm-hmm.
And so that I think should be alarming to some degree to everybody over at 1265. I'm sure they took notice. I mean, if they play, it's one thing. If they play your best game and they give you some mistakes, then okay, you're in there. But just you just watch them play. Like, those are two different teams. There was a really good team on there, and an excellent team, and a team that's good and could be better, and maybe, but right now isn't there. So that was disturbing. And then the Wisconsin-Iowa game has been kind of a trophy game in my family for 50 years. And so the traveling hot dog trophy that goes between me and my uncle will stay in Kansas City again, and that's really troubling to me that I have had to watch that noise just get destroyed. And then I'm waiting for the Bucks to think maybe the coaching hire that they made midseason was not the right one, because that has not gone well at all. And I don't know about anybody else. Honestly, I have election anxiety today as well. So I got a lot.
Really? You have election anxiety?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anything in particular that I could help?
No, I just need it to come out the way I would like it to come out.
Oh, because my view is always, every year they tell me that it's the most important one of my life, and every time they say that, it hasn't been the case. It's like someone who predicts the end of the world based on what they've read in the Bible. I go, you're wrong. Well, what do you mean?
Right. Or that soccer is going to catch on in this country any moment. So
the people that have said that are 0 for 6,000, and you're 6,001. So I could, at some point, I'm going to be wrong, but that's the way I'm going. And however it turns out, the people who think it's the end of the world are wrong because their person lost, and we'll move on. And I assume that there will be there'll be a battle. So I like them. I'd like no one to be in charge so they can just fight each other, and then nothing gets done, because most of what they would get done would be bad. But so that's what I would say.
Well,
whichever
right now,
group
regardless.
you lose, understand it's not going to be as bad as you told us. And again, that's because every election. Oh, when Obama won, it's the end of the world. That didn't happen. Oh, when Trump won, it's the end of the world. And Biden won, it's the end of the world. And it's going to be the end of the world, according to some, tomorrow. That's what I can guarantee you. And then, of course, it won't be the end of the world. So maybe, does that help you at all?
No, I have some other things tied up in
That
there.
was a really quick
like,
no. I would have liked to pause and a no.
no,
Go
I
ahead.
don't have any of that. And
All
then
right.
there's, I have a daughter that, her kind of her job and future may ride a little bit on how this turns out. And so
Really?
some things like that. Uh-huh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it turns out best for her.
Yeah.
Because you need to help me on politicians. Because
in what way?
I hate them all. I don't think anybody cares about helping anymore. Politics has become a very good way to get rich. So, and you don't have to do anything. You just get rich. They all get rich. I want somebody to write the book. Yeah. So what's my job? My job is to get as many votes to win so that I can get rich. Well, what's my standard? I got to do whatever the people that'll give me the votes ask me to do because I don't really care because I just got to focus from the day I win on winning the next time because if I keep winning, I know one thing will take place. I'll be rich. Okay, tell me where I'm wrong because you're...
Well, I'm maybe not that fanatical in terms of the dollars of it, but I do think that, that the idea that this is a public service and there's a noble cause doesn't seem to be what it was anymore. Otherwise, they literally would every once in a while decide to work together on something that would help you or help me or help my neighbor. Or,
But you can't do that because if you do that, then it's more likely that you won't win. And so then if you don't win, you can't get rich. And so you got to do whatever it's like. What are my beliefs? I don't know. Tell me who's voting for me and I got their beliefs. So you do accept that principle a little bit.
Yeah, I would like both sides to govern for the American public and not govern against each other. And even that, as you say, they're not really governing. That they are impeding each other. And in no way are they governing towards me or anybody else in this country. And I would like them to go back to do that.
Thanks for trying to help me. And I knew. See, I feel like I don't know if you know who Tim Van Voren is. He works there at Fox, but he just has a little more normalcy and like Homer, calm down, don't go crazy. And you're kind of my Tim Van Voren too. Like I feel like if you said, Homer, rethink this, I would rethink it. Because you have some salt, but you don't have a lot of craziness, I don't think. How did they view you at ESPN versus some of the other people you dealt with? Kenny Mayne has craziness. There's a good craziness, but there was craziness there. And who did I work with? Guy from Philadelphia. It's an outrage. It was long at the very beginning of radio. I'll think of his name. Dude was totally whacked, but very good. Do you agree with my craziness theory or not? I mean, Kenny Mayne was historically fantastic, but I thought crazy.
I don't know if he's crazy. He and I, we might be in line on some things. I just might not be quite as vocal about them. By the way, I played my last round of golf in Connecticut a couple of weeks ago with Kenny. We spent the day together, and it was fall down fun.
You smile. People can't see you. You smile just thinking about it. I can see you smile.
Yeah, it's a great time. Had a good friend of mine from college that came in, and two really good friends of mine that came over from Cooperstown. We had a blast. So I don't know that I'm crazy. I'm just I am. What do I say? I have what I believe, and I would like everybody to just be interested in everybody, in the greater good. And right now, I don't know that either side is interested in the greater good, which is a hard thing to do. And the guy I use as a great example is Steve Largent, right? The former record-setting wide receiver of the Seahawks, right? So when he left, owned every record there was, every record. And went on to become, a congressman for the state of Oklahoma when I was there, and was part of the what was the Contract with America? Was that right? Was that Newt Gingrich and his thing? And he was one of those.
I believe it was, yes.
And now I don't know that Steve and I agree on a lot of things politically, but the thing I never doubted about Steve Largent was he was a really good guy, and he had. Not only his party or other parties or me, he had the best in mind for us. He and I may have gone about it a different way, but I thought that even if we were politically different, he still was worried about the people of the United States. And I don't know that either side right now is worried about all the people of the United States, which is what I think the job is once you get there. right? We can disagree on how you may want to go about that, but I think we've lost sight of, in such an effort to be sort of thwart or stunt the other side for fear of having people be pleased with them, that we've all just been forgotten. Like you said, like I said, I don't know that anybody's really interested in governing. I'm with you. They're interested in being elected, but then after
and
that,
that's on their resume.
Really interested in governing.
I want to be governor. Do I actually want to govern? No. I just want to have it on my resume that I was governor. By the way, the person I was thinking of was Tony Bruno.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Dude, when I first got there, the sports babe was still working every once in a while.
Yes. I knew. I worked with Nancy Donnell when she was in Tampa. That's the sports babe, and she covered Tampa, the Buccaneers. I covered the Packers, and yes, she was the first female sports talk show of national significance. I think
she was. And
there were other people doing TV. Leslie Visser would have been one of the very first ones, or what was the this is terrible. It's old on CBS with Brent Musburger. But that was TV. Phyllis George.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, I want to get, because we're going to have Jason Woodley, but I want to get to the Packers because I want to know what you're thinking about Jordan Love. Yeah. He's had an interception in 7 straight games. Now, Aaron Rodgers, just so you know, had 6 his rookie year, but he never came close to that again. We've seen last year, I think he had 5 games in a row, and then he was 1 in 8 games, and now 7 games in a row with an interception. That cannot continue. You cannot win unless you're throwing 4 touchdown passes a game, and that's ended a couple games ago. Take it away.
And some of those, 2 of those were just awful, egregious. Like if you had trouble with the San Francisco interception in the playoffs, some of these other 2 are just the 2 that were returned were just absolutely mind-boggling that anybody would let that ball leave their hand.
Yes, and I still like him. I want to ask him, and he won't say, "What were you thinking?" I believe that what he was thinking is going to make sense, but I don't. I still want to hear it, right?
Yeah, I came away with 2 things. One, the Lions are a better team.
Yes,
right. That to me was apparent. And 2 is that maybe the quarterback needs some help from his head coach and offense coordinator, and maybe instead of letting him have the whole playbook, maybe they need to do a little Malik Willis with him and dial him back until he shows that he deserves
I agree,
the rest
but
of the
here's
playbook.
my question. We'll ask Jason. The problem with that, or the additional discussion, is they claimed last year that he turned it around when they loosened up the playbook. And remember, like at Pittsburgh, I don't want to say let her fly, but so now you have the year after. The key to him being so good, 1 interception or 16 touchdowns, in like the last 8 games, was because we were told, and I'm not arguing, that it was because they opened it up. Now they've opened it up, and you may be right. I mean, that may be what you have to do. Now it's close it, because where we're at now, that seems to be appropriate. There seems an inconsistency there, but it doesn't mean it couldn't be right. You can't. You're just saying the same thing.
Guys get on the heater. Right now, the best player on that team,
because you need to change it for one reason: to find out if he still makes those stupid throws. If you change it as you've suggested, and he still makes these, you got a problem, right?
Yeah, and right now, I think my best player on offense right now is Josh Jacobs.
Yes. Yes.
And so, okay, let's see what we can do with him, and let's have him go 25 a game and work off that.
I mean, they brought in the guy from the Jets. I think they need to bring in Mike Ditka as an offensive consultant. You just stand next to the floor and say, "Run the damn ball."
Hand it again. Hand it off again.
Yes.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with 2nd and 3. Where they get in trouble is if they stop him once, all of a sudden, if you're looking at 2nd and 9 or
but you know this.
4,
those who believe in running, that they don't flinch on that. 2nd and 9, try it again. And if we have to punt, fine. It'll work itself out, right? Later in the game, or we'll wear them down or whatever. All right.
All that thing. Keep chopping wood or keep pounding the rock, whatever they want to say. Pick your sign that you're going to put up in your locker room. But,
so, Mike, Coach Ditka, when are you going to stop running the ball? Never.
Right.
It's 28-0. It's the start of the 4th quarter. And your point? We're still running the damn ball. We're not just playing for this one game. And
look up there. When you see all four, when there's zeros up there, that's when we'll be done running the ball.
Yes. All right. The segment of the show that I look forward to most. Jason Wilde and the Professor, 7-2.5, John Anderson. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Things are still pretty slow. Now we've got a bunch of accidents to deal with. Eastbound 94 at 13th Street. 2 left lanes are blocked. Then we've got another one at 26th Street. The 2 left lanes are blocked there. And we've got a crash on the ramp from 25th Street to 94 eastbound. And basically, all that whole area is all gummed up with a bunch of accidents. So be careful. Eastbound 94 is going to be slow from the Zoo interchange all the way through to the Marquette. Westbound is backed up out of the Marquette all the way to Hawley Road. One other accident on the ramp from 894 eastbound to northbound 94 with the left lane blocked in the Mitchell interchange. So that's going to be affecting your ride as well. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight, breezy, cooler, mostly cloudy, a low of 46. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 55. Weather is brought to you by Tsunami Express Car Wash, where you can expect nothing but the best unlimited wash memberships, state-of-the-art wash technology, and powerful free vacuums, located in Oak Creek, Waukesha, Greenfield, and now Milwaukee. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
What happens when you mix a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I'm not going to get into the Kringle turnover game, so that's what it needs to be.
Kringle
I think his legs. Yeah.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Like the pastry
Are you guys being
turnovers.
serious? You guys can't put two and
I got it. I did not get it.
They don't call themselves Racine Danish
I'm
turnovers.
sorry. Sometimes I wonder about you too, man.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hi, it's John Reitz. Are you looking for a local bank that really understands you? At Great Midwest Bank, we know Wisconsin because we've been serving the state for nearly 90 years. Most of our co-workers have lived here their entire lives, with a vested interest in better serving your mortgage lending or checking and savings needs. Check out our new lineup of common sense, fee-friendly deposit products at greatmidwestbank.com. We're all the bank you'll ever need. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender and member FDIC.
This political season, you'll hear a lot of noise. But this November, Walker Media Agency has the expertise and team to improve your marketing, advertising, and IT. Start at WMA2024.com. Paid for by Matt Walker and Walker Media Agency.
After a series of meetings with the James Imaging Systems sales rep, Matheson Manufacturing chose document imaging technology from James. Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leininger.
They have a reputation out in the field. They've been around for a long, long time. I was really impressed with it.
I also understand you're impressed with the document imaging technology.
Yes, it's quicker, it's faster. We can do a lot more with the copy functions.
James Imaging Systems, better document imaging technology, better support, even lower printing costs.
Yes, definitely. I think the lease is very cost effective for us. It certainly helps with cash flow, and it's just good.
Al, anything else you'd like to add about your experience with James Imaging Systems?
Yes, James Imaging has been a really good partner with us from the beginning.
Start your business technology partnership with James Imaging Systems today. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
It's quarterfinal time for Catholic Memorial.
Looking for an opening, and he is into the end zone. Catholic Memorial takes a 34-33 lead.
On Friday night, the top 2 seeds battle it out as the number 1 Crusaders host number 2 Mount Horeb Barnevald. Crusaders football is presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, R&R Insurance, Home Sealed Exteriors, and D&M Accounting and Consulting Service. Tune into the action Friday night starting at 6:30, exclusively streaming at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Oh, this segment is good. Jason Wilde and the professor himself. 7-2.5, John Anderson. All I do is listen after, of course, I ask Jason how he's doing. Jason Wilde, everybody should get Jason Wilde on the Packers every day of the year. You just go to the Jason Wilde spot on WisconsinOnDemand.com. Good evening, Jason. How are you?
I'm great, Homer. How are you?
I am great as well. Thanks for asking. Professor, take over.
Jason, I have three things. I don't know how you want to attack these. I have
whatever order you'd like to, Professor.
Well, we're going to lay them out for. Well, here's the syllabus. The Lions are better than the Packers by a lot. That's troubling. Jordan Love perhaps has too much offensive playbook to deal with. And I've decided that maybe after watching the way the defense played in this one and the last couple of possessions against the Jags and the Texans, that I'm decided that maybe we have more of a personnel problem than a coaching problem. Although that does not want to, I'm not letting Barry off the hook. Let's start over. Like, the Packers aren't better than the Lions, and I don't see a scenario where during this season they fix that. What did you come away with?
Yeah, I don't feel as strongly as you on that. Like, certainly they, it's a hard thing to express because, like Jordan Love said after the game, I still think we're a really good football team. Okay. Yeah. On the flip side of it, really good football teams don't commit 10 penalties, drop 5 passes, throw a pick 6 where there was really very little to gain on that throw anyway. If I'm them, I'm looking at it going, hey, everything that we did against a team that we're vying for the division title for was us screwing up. Like, I don't think they got pressure on Love on the interception, but he's just got to be smarter. That ball easily is thrown out of bounds, and you live to fight another day. I know he was disappointed because he did have – there's a play that was dialed up that had Reed open down the field, and it could have been a huge play, and instead he made a bad play worse. They didn't pick up the protection. They got fooled on that. Just take the sack or take the incompletion. Don't make it worse by turning it into a pick 6. But I don't think – I think that they will get themselves more disciplined in the second half. So I don't think that the gap is as large as it felt after that game was over.
Felt huge to me, but like, it's week 9. You shouldn't make that many penalties things should be, I feel like in week 9 games, you should be cleaned up on some of that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, look, they've got 30 pre-snap penalties on the season. Like, that's an average of 3 per game. Like, that's the most in the league. Like, get your blank together and don't jump off sides. I mean, the TJ Slayton penalty, I think, is the kind of one that you look at and go, dude, what the hell are you doing? And then he admitted afterward that he tried to guess the snap counts. Well, hello, McFly, anybody home? Think, McFly, think. They are trying to get you jumping off sides, so definitely don't guess the snap count because there isn't a snap coming until you bowl over the center. So
calm down, sir. You're sounding like Homer.
I was just doing a Back to the Future imitation, really.
Yes.
So yeah, those have to go. There's no 2 ways about it. But I do think that those, and I'm certainly not part of the PR arm of the Green Bay Packers, but I do believe that they are, in fact, relatively fixable. Now, I think they've got ample talent on offense. Let's go to the defensive thing, though, because look, I am certainly more critical of Goody than other people are, both on our team and other reporters that cover the team on a daily basis. But I got no problem with trading Preston Smith. None. Like, anybody that you play now instead, because he was not having any impact. So Lucas Van Ness getting more snaps, Aaron Mosby getting more snaps, Brenton Cox playing now, JJ Enikbare playing more. Like, that's at the very least, that's a push, and a push with younger players is still a bonus because they're developing into something that you will want. Preston Smith, I'm not saying he's washed, but he was not doing anything for them. So you pick up the 7th rounder that you gave up to get Malik Willis, who has largely saved your season, and I don't got any problem with that. My problem is, and I asked Goody about this just now, and I was pleasantly surprised by his honesty. You know, I said, look, what do you need from Lucas Van Ness, who you're going to be counting on more? And I know this guy's a conscientious guy, but given the expectations and the contract and his draft status, how much more do you need from Rashawn Gary? And he said, we need more from all of those guys up front, which I understand is a no-blank Sherlock type deal. But for the general manager to publicly admit it, as opposed to me saying it, I think that means something. That has been, in my opinion, on the defensive side of the ball, the most disappointing group, and it's not even close. Rashawn Gary is not an elite player at this point. Will he become one still? I don't know, but he's not giving me a whole lot of evidence to think that he will. We just discussed Preston Smith and why you felt comfortable trading him. Lucas Van Ness was the 13th overall pick. You know, we made a lot of wisecracks about how the Packers fleeced the Jets in the Aaron Rodgers trade. One of the things was that they also swapped draft picks in the first round, 13th and 15th. And Will McDonald has been a hell of a lot more of a pass rusher for the Jets than Lucas Van Ness has been for the Packers. So they need more from him. They need more from Gary. So that has been a problematic area. And then, you know, the linebacker spot, I don't know how you complain about that. You know, Eric Wilson has been way better than you expect for where he's at in his career. And Edgerrin Cooper has been fantastic with his playmaking. He makes mental mistakes, but he's tilted the field in their favor multiple times. The guy that I would like, if I'm a Packers fan, to be better than he's been and to be the guy who's tilting the field at that position, of course, is Quay Walker, who has not been that guy. Now, in the back end, without Evan Williams and without Jair last week, that's less than ideal. But when that group is healthy, I think they have one of the best secondaries in the league. So from a personnel perspective, it's all up front where I'd be critical of what they've got on defense.
Well, I mean, it's as old as time, right? If the guys up front don't play well, it makes the guys on the back end's job so much harder. I'm with you with Preston Smith. You say it's a push. I'm like, it's a push and a pick, actually, is what they come out of that with. I have suggested that perhaps that Jordan Love should not have access to the full playbook. Your thoughts? I think LaFleur needs to dial him back.
I don't, John. I really don't think it's the amount of playbook that he has at his disposal. I think it's, and I had, if you get a chance, we played it on our show this morning. But the back and forth that I had with LaFleur, who had, said after the game to one of my colleagues that we were being really annoying with all of our interception questions. I'm sure I was annoying too yesterday because I asked 3 questions in a row. But I thought while he was trying not to throw his quarterback under the bus, I thought we got a very, very clear picture of what the issue is. And that is, Jordan Love is not doing a great job of recognizing when it's okay to take chances and when you have to live to fight another day. And saw it in the LA game. It didn't cost them, the pick 6 that he throws underhanded while he's stumbling out of the end zone. The picks he threw last Sunday, the worst case scenario, you go into the half down 10-3, and then the Lions score on their opening possession, and it's 17-3, which is ideal, but certainly not insurmountable. And instead, he made it infinitely worse because then when they score on the opening possession, it's 24-3, And now your offensive play caller is stopping giving the ball to the guy that's been the most productive of anyone offensively that day, Josh Jacobs, and you're just in such a big hole. So his awareness of, hey, I have utmost confidence in my ability and in my arm and my guys that I'm surrounded by going up and getting balls for me, like, say, Romeo Doubs on that touchdown against the Cardinals, or Jaden Reed into triple coverage against the Rams. All those things are great, and there are times where that's okay, but he's doing it far too often when it's not okay. And I think Matt LaFleur's issue with him is, dude, youth, and the way I couched the question was, help me understand how a guy who in the last 8 games last season threw 1 pick has now thrown 10 picks in 6.5 games. And I think Matt LaFleur's cut to the chase, if he were to boil it down, is he's taking chances that he didn't take last year because he wasn't ready to take those chances. And those chances are ones that he should know better than to take this year, but he's taking them anyway.
So, Jason, if I can, and I ask you this, because I know LaFleur's, what is he thinking? Tell us what you believe Jordan Love is thinking before that pick 6 play.
I gotta make something out of nothing. And and again, I know people get irritated with the Favre comp because Brett Favre's a Hall of Famer, and if he has Brett Favre's career and wins a Super Bowl, again, I totally get that. When those of us that draw that comparison mention Brett Favre's name, this is what we're talking about. Because Brett Favre was a magical player. However, far too often, he did not have the wisdom to say, instead of taking a chance and having to make a play on absolutely every snap, it's sometimes the smart play is to throw it into the bench area. And he always thought that there was a play to be made. And sometimes, like the one that I always think of, is I think they're in Seattle, and he throws like an underhanded touchdown pass to Antonio Freeman, or a sidearm touchdown pass, like almost like the Veer offense pass. He did that a lot, but he also had Mark Tauscher chasing Rams defensive players all around the TWA Dome when he threw 6 picks and 3 of them were returned for touchdowns. Like, this is the comp to Favre, is that Jordan Love has not decided or accepted that sometimes you can't make a play, and the best play is to wait for the next play to try and make the play. And if he's able to move past that, I think that'll be really good for everyone, including him, and he'll still have opportunities to make Favre-esque, oh my God, did you see what Love just did? It reminded me of Favre when he threw that touchdown pass to Freeman in Chicago or whatever, but he's got to eliminate the boneheaded mistakes where there's too much risk and not enough reward. And I thought that pick 6, again, what happens if let's just say it's not a pick 6, let's just say he completes it to Josh Jacobs. Like, there's such a massive humanity there. Yeah, sure, Josh Jacobs breaks a tackle and he gets 12 yards and he gets the first down. Okay, but more likely, there's so many guys there, it's either incomplete, it's intercepted like it was, or he gets tackled for like a 3-yard gain and the clock is still running. Like, this is part of his growth, that he has to recognize even a win on that play is still not much of a win. So don't do it.
All right, your segment, again, we're behind time, but not before both of you, 7-2.5 and Jason Wilde, respond to our Discount Liquor Twitter poll question. Jordan Love has 10 interceptions this season through 7 starts. Will he finish the regular season with more or less than 20 interceptions? More or less? Jason?
Less.
John Anderson, Professor, 7-2.5.
Yeah, he'll have less. The over and under on that should be like 15. But by the way, I get that LaFleur's irritated by people asking, but it's irritating when he throws picks, and that's what people would like you to ask about. So I'm not really sure where his complaint is on that.
Just doing my job, Matt. Just doing my job. And my job is to annoy you and many others.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jason.
Don't throw the pick, and we don't have to worry about that.
That's
Thanks,
right.
Jason.
Exactly. All right, guys, take care. Be good.
By the way, he's thrown a pick in 7 straight games. Rodgers the most with 6. Favre has a couple 7s and a 9 and a 10. But he threw many more touchdown passes when he was throwing those interceptions. Third quarter, next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got a bunch of accidents to deal with right now. First of all, 94 eastbound at St. Paul Avenue. Left lane is blocked with a crash. Just a little bit further on from that, the 25th Street on-ramp to 94 eastbound got another accident there. And one more at 13th Street with the 2 left lanes blocked. So really causing some hefty delays through that area. 894 eastbound to northbound 4394. We do have the left lane blocked with a crash there as well. So you want to be extra careful no matter where you go this afternoon. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, breezy, cooler, mostly cloudy, some rain coming down with a low of 46. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 55. Weather's brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Always have a slice of summer by playing Pro Tour courses on one of their 12 simulators. Book a bay for just $35, Monday through Thursday. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. And now, Holtebeck Eye Center is excited to add Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist that is now available to see patients. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol, learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. It's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee, and with holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust AccuTrans Group to handle all of my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or festive celebration, AccuTrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
Hey, it's Gary Ellison here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? Get a little slice of summer on the links with Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center, a top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center's simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. With bays at just $35 an hour, Mondays through Thursdays. That summer feel is easily back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
There's a good chance you're on a budget. We all are. But she wants a diamond. You know it. I know it. And Robert Hack Diamonds knows it too, because they offer a huge collection of lab-grown diamonds, and they sell them at crazy prices. How about 2-carat total weight diamond studs for $8.95? Robert Hack Diamonds can get any size, shape, or clarity in natural or lab-grown diamonds. Don't buy until you call Robert Hack Diamonds. $8.95 for a 2-carat pair of diamond studs. Oh, baby! Robert Hack Diamonds in Greenfield and in Brookfield. Why overspend when you can save at Robert Hack Diamonds for the same diamond you're looking for? Some jewelers are charging nearly $5,000 for a lab-grown diamond. Not Robert Hack. Your visit will be worth it, and she'll think so too. Robert Hack also offers repair services and cash for your old gold. But remember, before you do anything, as I did, RobertHackDiamonds.com, and visit them in Brookfield or in Greenfield.
It's time to start thinking about the holiday season, and the Corners of Brookfield has you covered to check off everyone on your list. Head to the Corners for all of your gifting needs and find something for everyone at any of their 30-plus restaurants and retailers. Immerse yourself in the joyful experience of shopping this holiday season, because the perfect gift is right around the Corners. Create a great, well-rounded gift for anyone and get a Corners gift card. Make your shopping list this holiday season, and don't forget to check it twice. Visit the Corners of Brookfield.com.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
You just heard me talk about Robert Hack Diamonds and the $8.95. Well, now it went from $8.95 to free. Listen closely. Robert Hack diamonds, 2-carat total weight diamond studs for free. You just heard what it used to be. When you mention ESPN and purchase at $2,000 of in-stock jewelry, you'll receive a I love free pair of 2-carat total weight diamond studs. Robert Hack diamonds can get any size, shape, or clarity in natural or lab-grown diamonds. They got it all figured out. They'll explain it to you, how to take advantage of both natural and lab-grown diamonds. Robert Hack Diamonds in Greenfield and in Brookfield. Again, spend at least $2,000 on in-stock jewelry and get a 2-carat diamond stud free, or studs actually, as long as you mentioned ESPN. RobertHackDiamonds.com. RobertHackDiamonds.com. I love free. Visit them in Brookfield or in Greenfield. All right, we have a caller, but before we get to the caller, we have to have the Professor 72.5 explain. So we had our Discount Liquor Twitter poll question. Packers quarterback Jordan Love, 10 interceptions through 7 starts. He has 8 games left, so that's more than he's played. So if he does 10 again, he'll be at 20, more or less than 20, and 72% saying less. But you, Professor, believe it shouldn't even be 20. You think it's like 15, so because the first 7 starts are just a total fluke. I mean, he's thrown an interception in every game he's quarterback this year.
No, I just think that should be the over-under. I think he's probably aiming at like 18.
Okay.
I just think it'll be less than 20. I was just saying if you're going to effectively, make that a little tougher. I think 20 opens you up to 73%. People say, yeah, that'd be hard. I think 15 would make people think a little bit.
Which means you believe this is a fluke in that he's just not going to throw this many interceptions, right?
Well, if he throws 8 more, if I think he throws 18, that's 1 a game, right?
Yes.
If he throws 18, that's still 1 more each game. So
correct.
I'm not convinced, and maybe I have couched that wrong listening to Jason, that they need to shorten the playbook.
I agree with you 1,000%.
But they need to maybe say, here's some guardrails, dude. After you look at read number 2 or whatever option, now we're looking to run and get out of it. And I think they were very careful in the plays they gave Malik Willis. And I think they could be very careful in how they choose what they run with Jordan Love to help mitigate some of what's happened there. Until you've earned that privilege back a little bit.
Let's get to Sugar Free. He wants to talk to the Professor. 7-2.5. Sugar Free, you're on with John Anderson. Let her fly.
Yeah, the trade today was terrible. I mean, we talk about Goody's, all his good stuff this year, but these it's a no-brainer. You keep this guy on your team. He's a healthy, reliable, serviceable pass rusher who was the starter for your team. So if you don't think he's better than the backup, that's fine. Then put him behind him, but do not trade him away for a 7th rounder. When his counterpart that came into the Packers, Zadarius Smith, the Lions give up a 5th and a 6th. It makes no sense. And plus, Goody doesn't go out and get a pass rusher at the deadline. I know there wasn't many of them, but you could have got somebody. So
all right, hold on, Sugar Free. John Anderson, your follow-up or thoughts or any or all of the comments of our legendary follower, Sugar Free.
I don't mind. Like I'm with you in that at somewhere Lucas Van Ness should have been better to beat him out. But I think given the salary he was, that's really hard. You're paying that guy a bunch. You don't want him on the bench. I think that Zadarius Smith is a much better player than him in terms of rushing the passer. And so I watched enough that just because he's a good guy, we should keep him on the roster. Like he wasn't giving you anything that it appears anybody else on the roster could do. And at the end of the season, you're not going to get anything for him. So I don't have any trouble. I don't know that they've subtracted something meaningful from the team. From what they saw. So I don't really have a big problem with that. And yeah, they got more for Zadarius and that. I think that the Lions were more desperate given the Hutchinson thing to have a guy. So that's part of the purchase price is how desperate is the guy who's buying. And so I don't have a problem with it at all because I think that he gave so little here that what do you have? 2.5 sacks and 8 tackles. So I don't know. I don't, and I've never heard anybody say that the whole locker room would crater if he wasn't there. Maybe he's got leadership things that I hadn't been seeing that people really relied on him, but I don't know that this is a giant loss. I think this is the equivalent of a 7th-round pick loss.
Sugar-free, we'll give you the final word.
Okay. Guys, again, serviceable, healthy, and when somebody goes down for the Packers, you are not going to have anybody. You're going to go and pick up somebody on the street, and that's all you're going to be able to get. And that's the frustration. You got a team that's 6-3. So I get what you're saying, John, but I'm going to tell you, you just don't give up a 7th rounder. You sell the dead cap on this guy. I don't care about a 7th rounder. Now, a 5th or a 6th, I would, but I get where you're coming from in comparing the two players.
I think your argument really, Sugar-free, might have to be with the Packers, because I think they were ready to move on, and they're just not going to play him, and whatever benefit he has, they see it as far less than you do. Thanks for the call. 1-800-990-3776. If anybody else there wants to talk to the professor, Saganiac Planning, named synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Been talking to him a long time, and I neglected to mention, but not anymore. Family-owned for over 50 years. Great listeners will help you simplify confusing insurance decisions, strong client relationships, attention to detail, level-funded health insurance experts. Yeah, and they're good at all that. Why? Because they've been doing it for over 50 years. I should have said this more often, too. Small enough to handle your needs with special attention and large enough to have the clout to make it happen. Saganiac Planning. Remember the number, 262-783. Roger Maris, 6160 more. More Professor John Anderson next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. On this show, it's always football season.
And your argument was that the coaches wanted him to return it.
Yeah, I think,
and he very clearly said no.
They wanted him to take it to the house.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Play the results, are we?
That's what coaches do sometimes, yeah.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sports book, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Did you know Love was born November 2nd? Did you know Love was raised in Bakersfield, California? Did you know Love played college football at Utah State? Are you looking for lots of Love touchdowns the rest of this football season? Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we love being your one-stop shop for everything alcohol-related. With our selection of over 15,000 varieties of beer, wine, liquor, and mixers, all at the lowest prices in town, Discount Liquor has all your tailgating needs covered. We are your football party beverage headquarters. Discount Liquor, 2 locations, Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
See all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Ready for a game changer? Now's the time to take your shot with Quartz, your local provider-owned and affordable health insurance. You can choose from a range of benefits to best support you and your family. Quartz is a proud partner of Aurora Healthcare, so you get to stay in the network you love. Visit quartzbenefits.com or call Saganiac Planning 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Quartz branded health plans are offered by Quartz Health Benefit Plans Corporation, Quartz Health Plan Corporation, and Quartz Health Insurance Corporation, which are separate legal entities. The Saganiac Planning Marquette Records. Coaches have always said, you got to make your free throws. They would have loved the 2017-18 Marquette team that, as a team, shot better than 80%. How? Marcus Howard missed 7, made 105. Andrew Rousey missed 19, made 175. Sam Hauser missed 10, made 51. And Matt Held, he missed 4 and made 28. A team better than 80% from the line. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Anyway, let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods. Now through Wednesday, save on 48-ounce selected varieties Stone Ridge ice cream, 2 for $7. 14.1 to 33.5-ounce selected varieties Culinary Circle pizza, $4.99. Gallon selected varieties Prairie Farms white or chocolate milk, $3.99. 8 to 16.5-ounce selected varieties Hostess multi-packs, $2.99.
And now time for the big reveal. Free groceries.
That's too over the top. Try this. Win free groceries from Century Foods.
Win free groceries from Century Foods.
Forget it. I'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by January 8th.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Fisco Auto Body, yes, I'm the one who admits I tell you about them so you'll like me more. Not the top of the list, but it's close. Here's how it works. Fisco Auto Body in Forest, Home, and Franklin. Been telling people about them for a long time because they're really good. It's a family business owned since 1931. It's not what they do, it's who they are. Imagine when they start doing this stuff. And by the time they're doing it for you, they're experts. So, you go there, you listen to me, and then you got your auto body place forever. Then at some point you go, wow, I think I got to thank Homer. People think better of me because of what they tell them about Fisco, because it all goes so well. Expert workmanship guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. Fisco. So you remember the name. The Professor, John Anderson, 7'2.5". I'm fairly comfortable with how many times I'm getting it in now. For people who don't know that are newcomers, that's because he high jumped 7'2.5" at some point in his life. What's your view of Jordan Love? I like to do this. You've got 60 seconds, 30 or 60 seconds to say whatever it is you want to say to make sure that's what you get out first and foremost as people wonder about Jordan Love, his play, and the interceptions. Take it away, Prof.
Can I have 30 seconds on the back end to clean up two other thoughts?
Yes.
I think Jordan Love is absolutely still very much the franchise quarterback that they have. And I think as well as he played at the end of last season, everybody thought, wow, he is fully formed. He is not. And it's okay to acknowledge that he is not fully formed and that maybe there needs to be, while not training wheels, there needs to be some guardrails on what we want him to do and what we let him to do, and let's help him get where he needs to be. Because right now it doesn't appear just on his own. I feel like he's reaching for it a little bit, struggling to find it with some of those throws that he's made. So maybe our coaching staff can help him out, get him back on track, have him take care of that football more, and get him back on the path that he was. I feel like maybe he has found, we're not in the ditch, but I think every once in a while he has a play where you hear the rumble strip on the side of the road where you're like, okay, we need to get him back into the lane here and let him go. And maybe instead of being on a 4-lane highway, let's pretend he's on a 2-lane highway.
By the way, I do like those things. I think that was a very smart move.
In general, the rumble strip, that helped you out?
Yes. No, I they should have been around long before, and they should be everywhere. They're not always everywhere. All right, now, what did you want to clear up?
With our boy Sugar Free, if serviceable and healthy, like is that our requirement? Like, because I think we have a lot of serviceable and healthy. Like, if those are your things, what he kept saying, he's serviceable and he's healthy. Like, if that's the barometer of what I need from a player, then there's a serviceable healthy.
No, they want to go with somebody younger. They don't see anything special there, and there's the cap issue. So whatever we get, as much as whatever they get, they want to play someone else. And I suspect if that person got hurt, they probably got another. The difference between the young kids and him is just not that great. And then and we'll have a week to probably talk about this, but I like this Packer team more than I did when the season started because they're just some young players that I think are good. I think this team has a potential to be better than I thought it did when the season started. But I haven't had anybody really jump on that bandwagon.
if they can get to the quarterback, if they can start to make the other guys look at what happens to Love when he gets uncomfortable, and he seems to have people on him a lot. If they could make the other team's quarterback uncomfortable like that, because Jared Goff ended up looking like Joe Montana again.
But he's been that way all year. I don't even know who that guy is.
Never seen him before. He and Sam Darnold. I don't know how it is. Suddenly the Packers are in a division with two guys that look like they are absolutely Hall of Famers when they came through. But if they could do that, that would make such a huge difference. It frees up the linebackers. It makes coverage easier, all those other things.
I don't know how to believe that's going to change. What makes you think that it could change?
No. I don't know if it's scheme. I don't know if it's moving guys around. I don't know if it's Van Ness finally, hey, you got to go now. Congratulations. You were a backup at Iowa, and you 23 games here being a backup. Go be a first-round pick. So maybe he's the difference. Gary's just got to figure it a way out, right? All we heard is in preseason, in training camp, was he was great against the trash cans. So now do it against real people. So I don't know how they figure that out. Kenny Clark.
Did you invent great against the trash cans? Because I want to give you credit for that. I mean, I've heard other things. Great in shorts, but
I great just know against that in preseason they go against trash cans. So they turn them over. Like, cool.
My concern about Jordan Love is totally injuries. The fact of he's now got 2 injuries, and that the injuries can affect him. And I don't think he's injury prone, but I'm just saying this year. And I think he needs to have that ability to move around and make plays. And you would like this. I thought he looked like Lynn Dickey.
Yeah, I think he's more mobile, and he should take off with it every once in a while if he could.
And he'll do that, I think, if he's healthy. All right. Thanks, Professor. American Place Casino. Yep. Somebody said it. They say every day. Homer, 38 minutes. Come on, I hear that. Sorry, you're going to hear it again. American Place Casino, just a half hour south of Franklin. That's what I said, just a half hour south of Franklin. Somebody said, Homer, be more precise. All right, 38 minutes. It's located in Lake County, Illinois. Great table games, slot machines, got a sports book, got great food, and all their promotions, AmericanPlaceCasino.com. That's not me. When I talk American Place Casino, you know what I'm going to say. 38 minutes south of Franklin. Or, if you're just a little kinder and don't need specifics, just a half hour south of Franklin. Now, the ESPN Wisconsin Coaches Week show. That would be college basketball coaches coming up next. You're a college coach in this state, Division I. You're in the next show, ESPN Wisconsin Coaches Week show. Next.
We do have some backups right now.